Marvel Ruins is widely described as one of the most edgiest comic books to date. Its story is not very good, and it's more so what if everything went wrong instead of right. People describe it as a realistic take on the marvels of World 616, but I would digress. Why? This comic still delves into the supernatural and question on if this world is dooming itself. You'll understand soon enough, but for now, let's get into the comic. The next page is revealed, and it is as grim and dark as the cover is. A river only filled with broken trees and barely any light, like a war had broken out here. For every kiss, a bullet in the face. For every action, a reaction. For every event, there exists in potential a mirror event, an exactly opposite possibility. If the world you know is one of Marvel's, where heroic women walk invisibly through horror, and men of fire ride the upper reaches of the air, then only a misstep or a stopped heartbeat away is a world of ruins. We are then met with a man staring up at the Avengers Quinjet exploding. A man looking up at the fire in front of his eyes, as he sees what we see, the beloved Avengers, each one slowly descending into a life beyond our existence. The man looks down at his folder, and it is revealed that he is Philip Sheldon, a character that actually showed up in a separate comic, Marvel's Number 1, where in that comic, things turned out way better for the people that inhabited that world, unlike this one. He describes the brilliant mind of Tony Stark, that almost everything was exactly like it had been on 616. Arrogant, handsome, smart, but yet something happened in this world that made the outcome of Iron Man different. He looks up from the folders in his hands to see everyone celebrating, killing the Avengers. But the question Philip had on his mind is, what went wrong?
It all went wrong. We were on the cusp of an age of marvels. I know it.
Philip then walks to a local bar in the city, where before ordering, reads over a newspaper. If you carefully read this and don't skim over it, it actually reveals the fate of Daredevil. Young hero Matthew Murdock died in hospital today from radiation burns and neural damage sustained when struck across the eyes by radioactive material hurled from a crashed atom containment transport. It seems that not even Matthew Murdock, at the age of 9, a literal child, can escape the world of twisted fate. He goes to order a drink for his pills, indicating that he has some kind of mental illness he needs to keep in check. He is suddenly approached by a man, his skin rotting like a corpse that is being eaten by maggots. But yet, he is alive and threatening Philip, that if he doesn't give him a drink, he'll kill him. But yet the bartender laughs and tells Philip not to worry, and that this random man has some kind of bone disease. But yet this man simply isn't random. It's the Wolverine. The aluminium that gave him his claws are eating him from the inside out. His bone now skin and fin, and makes you wonder what started all this, and how the poor Wolverine got in that situation to begin with. We are then shown why the Avengers aren't as so desired here compared to the likes of 616. Black Panther was a part of the Black Panther Party, a real African-American Marxist-lenient and Black Power group in the United States that promoted violence to overthrow the US government in 1969. And because of this, was imprisoned. Hawkeye was executed for being a part of the Avengers, and Iron Man was killed for being a serial killer. And Scarlet Witch ratted out what the Avengers did in secret for government protection. Why is unfortunately not answered here, but it is further on in the comic. We are then met with a government site for the Kree, where Philip goes to interview one of them. Except, something is different. Just like Wolverine, the Kree inhabitants of the camp are rotten and have a dejected look when they are mere inches away from the outside, and the reason why is nuclear radiation. It's a concentration camp for the Kree, built straight on a testing site, where they are forced to breathe in the toxins every single day, and it's worse for the children because the Kree do not tell them their failures, meaning the children have no idea why they are forced to endure such a short life, not knowing the truth. Philip has allowed entry surprisingly from his own words, kindly, despite not being a government official. He walks in with a radiation suit on as to not get sick and gets a closer look at the Kree. He describes them as shameful and cancerous beings, and he wonders why. The next page is just hard to put into words, so I'll read it instead. Mr. Sheldon, please be seated. I am Marvel, interlocutor to the interned Kree Liberation Force. I understand you wish an interview. Well, I'm writing a book, or planning to, and I don't have a lot of time in a lot of ways, and why did your invasion of Earth fail? 3 years ago, the kill was directed by the Supreme Intelligence to liberate this world from its governments and yoke it to our authority.
I remember the singing as the striker dray lifted off for the intersideral transfer. I love those songs. It was all going well. The hull of my ship shrilled like choirs as we kicked into terrain local space, the hyperport locking behind us. We'd swept around your moon in the process of nailing down preliminary orbit when we saw it.
They saw the Silver Surfer, but instead of protecting the planet or searching through space, he was found ripped apart, but not from something, but from himself, wanting to know what it would be like to breathe air again after it was taken away from Galactus to search the galaxy for food. The pure power cosmic of the Surfer was too powerful for their cloaking rays, and so it malfunctioned, the ship now fully naked to our planet. And so we attacked it, sending nuclear weapons up and destroying the Kree ship. Many died, and the people who lived suffered a fate worse than death.
Your mercy. We were placed here, the site of your early nuclear experiments. Your species had a sense of humor. We are denied our surviving medicines. If you removed your helmet, Mr. Sheldon, you could smell my bones rotting. 1 child out of 8 is born alive. The soldiers refuse to carry out our dead. We have to burn them in piles. We all have cancer. On my world, Mr. Sheldon, I was considered very much a descendant. I argued against your liberation. I stood for your self-determination. But now, I am broken. This concentration camp will be empty in 30 years. And none of my people will listen when I tell them that I know I was wrong. Get out.
We are then met with what appears to be Philip's files in his folder, revealing that Mr. X is actually the president of this world, and is also the main antagonist of this 2-part comic. As seen in the next page, which we will cover next, but I just want to show you it first, Washington, D.C. is very, very run down, and obviously not taken care of, ever since the White House was moved to Westchester, leaving no law and order for criminals and citizens. In my research, yes, I do research when making these videos, I did realize that each of the Avengers rebelled against the government in their own certain way, whether that be directly or not as. Black Panther was in the Black Panther Party, and Iron Man killed people and rebelled against the government, as well as Hawkeye and the rest of the Avengers. Mr. X in this world is extremely corrupt, being the sole cause of most of the hard things that will soon happen or have happened in this comic. The only Avenger that wasn't desired by the people was Iron Man, of course because he was a fucking psychopathic killer. The Avengers fought for a cause, to take down someone way worse than themselves, and that was Mr. X. We then moved down to Washington, D.C. The art has changed, a lot more wet and gritty, indicating that, like I said before, Washington, D.C. is not to be admired unlike our world. There he meets Nick Fury, who seems to be the only somewhat normal person in the world of ruins. But it turns out quickly, this world has made him lose hope, and lose his grasp on humanity and his own sanity, as he punches Philip in the gut, thinking that Philip is a political writer of assumptions instead of hearing him out. It's obvious with the events of the Avengers he has gained mass paranoia. Philip tries to explain to Nick if he ever got the feeling that this world could offer more, that there could be marvels. But Nick Fury, already demolished by this world of complexity and ruins, declines and shoots. It misses purposefully and hits a dog that was just about to attack him. He warns Philip about the journey. The warning is vague and doesn't have much to offer in terms of words, only saying,
"You're in for a lot of pain, Sheldon. Oh, I ain't gonna stop you for interviewing folk for your book. Me and the guys at the agency would like reading something like that."
Nick Fury decides to give Philip the only information about Captain America besides the already known Quinjet. He says,
"In fact, I'll give you an antidote. Back in the war, it was America that introduced me to eating human meat."
If we go off the MCU and just basic storylines, Captain America was the first ever superhero on Earth. Knowing this, theories suggest that this little action through World War II sprouted an entirely new world. It isn't extremely far-fetched, as this has happened to other worlds, but it isn't confirmed, and probably will never be confirmed, so just go off what you want to go. After this tad bit of information, a young-looking Jean Grey approaches the two men and, I'm just gonna be straight up, offers Nick sex. Yes, and mind you, Jean Grey is a teenager in this comic. Nick actually asks for her age, and once learning about being underage, guns her down with his pistol. Damn, bro, you just could have said no. It is revealed in the same panel that Nick Fury is actually a mutant. And despite being the one X wants to take down, he actually works under Professor X, or Mr. X now, and right before sewer sliding, confessed he is the one that actually commanded the missile to destroy the Avengers. We are then met with easily the most horrifying panel in this entire comic. Galactus in space, dead with no reason whatsoever to his passing. There are a few theories though, like lack of food or being beaten by someone more powerful than him, but no such being other than cosmic entities can beat Galactus, and they are not very easy to encounter. The reasoning will never be known, which is the scariest part. But the universe is ever expanding, new worlds that are being created every second, so Galactus would always have something to feed on. Philip is now in an apartment complex, run down and gray. He knocks on the door of Rick Jones, who opens it and welcomes him in. Where there is also Marlo Chandler, a fellow addict among Rick. Philip asks about the conspiracy in Arizona, or more so, Rick's encounter with it. Rick takes a swig of his morphine and begins to tell the story. Rick Jones was playing his guitar near a nuclear testing site, believing he is in no danger despite the water tower beginning to spark uncontrollably. Bruce, the hero he tried to be, drove over to the scene to tell Jones to get out of the area. Despite him yelling at Jones to leave, he didn't, and Banner was forced to push him into the trench. The panel showing Banner's body as the flames and radiation engulf him. Jones quickly lifts his head, his eyes widening. Banner's hand reaches out, but his body is green. You'd expect it to be the Hulk, but of course no one is safe in the world of ruins. He is filled to the brim with cancer, each tumor pulsating as he screams and groans uncontrollably, his face and body not resembling the man he once was before. To me, this is what you get for being a hero in ruins. We then go back to Rick Jones claiming that Banner is now being held in a security prison and they nickname him the Hulk. He reminisces about the moment and cries, saying that he was still alive during all of the pain. But Marlo Chandler interjects, saying that he was speaking a load of bull and that he was crazy, but Rick retaliates by beating her. During this moment, Philip makes his leave, but not before thinking,
It's a junkie's tale, I agree, but liquid morphine is not a junkie's drink. Liquid morphine is used to blot out the pain of cancer.
Philip leaves the complex. It's snowing, and Philip speaks on how he could just do with having no gunshots or screams. But of course, as soon as he thinks of something nice, he slips on something and his back hits the ground. He gets up and it's the Punisher's dead corpse.
I don't want to die. Death is so close, so loaded in my veins and tissues that I can almost taste it. The heaviest snow I've ever known. Death is everywhere. It's falling on all of us. Let me find an answer before I go. Let me show them all how this happened. Please don't let me die in this place.
If you guys liked that video and want me covering part 2 of Marvel Ruins, leave a like and subscribe. See ya.